はい、皆様、こんにちは。アエルワールド海外生活コンサルタントの伊藤です。今日も動画をご覧いただきまして、どうもありがとうございます。今日はですね、ニュージーランドの親子留学についてのご紹介です。自然豊かな環境で子育てと英語教育を両立できる国ということで、弊社でも非常に多くお問い合わせをいただく国の一つです。先日ですね、ニュージーランドから5校の学校の担当者の方が弊社にお越しいただきまして、語学学校だったりとか、プライマリースクールですね、あとはセカンダリースクール、年齢でいうともう結構幅広くですね、受け入れてもらえるような学校さんなんですけれども、その担当者の方が弊社にお越しいただいて魅力をですね、お答えいただきましたので、そちらご紹介していければというふうに思ってます。ちょっと本題に入る前にお知らせから失礼いたしますね。各国のビザの情報を受け取ることができる弊社のアエルワールドの LINE がございます。こちら、投資家ビザと親子留学と2つ QR コード表示されているんですけれども、どちらかご興味のおありの方にですね、ご登録いただきまして、ぜひ情報をキャッチアップしていただければというふうに思います。はい。それでは本題に入ってまいります。そもそもですね、なぜニュージーランドがそんなに人気がある国なのかっていうところ、魅力も含めてお伝えできればというふうに思っております。人口513万人、面積でいうとですね、日本の4分の3ぐらいの広さではあるんですけれども、人口はちょっと少なめですね。513万人になります。で、首都はウェリントンなんですけれども、一番人口が多い都市はオークランドで165万人ぐらいになります。で、その下の言語、英語、マオリ語はもちろんなんですけれども、少し面白いのが手話ですね。手話が公用語になったのは2006年からになるんですけれども、こちらニュージーランドが世界初になります。ニュージーランドはすごくですね、多様性を取り入れている国、ダイバーシティを取り入れている国ということで有名ですね。例えば、性別の欄、男性、女性、その他っていうのが OK とした国でもありますし、あとは同性婚が合法になってます。ですので、後ほど、ご紹介はしていくんですけれども、世界でもですね、先駆けて多様性を認めてきた国の一つなんですね。ですので、それが教育スタイルにもすごく表れてるなっていうふうに感じ取ることができるかと思います。後ほどご説明いたしますね。気候ですね。気候で言うと、実は1日の寒暖差が結構大きくてですね、1日の中に四季がある、春夏秋冬があるっていうふうに言われているほど寒暖差は大きいです。ただ、年間通して言うとですね、気温ですとか降水量の変化っていうのは比較的緩やかですので、過ごしやすい気候かなというふうに思います。はい。そしてニュージーランドの魅力です。もうね、ここに書いてある通り、お写真にもありますが、なんといっても豊かな自然、これが最大の魅力ですよね。で、ニュージーランドの留学の場合はですね、もちろん英語を習得するっていうことはもちろんなんですけれども、大自然のアクティビティっていうのを通じてですね、のびのびと子育てをすることができますので、お子様と一緒に、親御さんも一緒に行く親子留学先の候補としてはすごく魅力的な国、っていうふうに言えるかと思います。で、国民性は非常におおらかです。文化でいうと、こう伝統のマオリ文化とヨーロッパ文化っていうのが融合していまして、独自な文化っていうのが築き上げられてます。そういったところもあってですね、外国人に根強いファンを持つ理由の一つなのかなっていうふうに思います。なんか公立校だとですね、マオリ語を少し勉強する機会もあるみたいで、それが必要なのかどうなのかって言ってくると、ちょっと悩ましいところではあるんですけれども、すごく文化っていうのを大事にしている国かなというふうに思いますね。はい。そして教育特徴とビザについてなんですけれども、その子らしさを伸ばす教育スタイルです。アジア人はですね、どちらかというと、しっかりお勉強をさせる国が多いんですね。これが教育特徴になってくるんですけれども、欧米圏はその子らしさ、その子がどう考えているのか、感じているのか、それを意見としていかに伝えることができるか、そういったところを伸ばす教育スタイルなんですけれども、中でもニュージーランドはやっぱりその傾向がものすごく強いかなというふうに感じます。多様性、個性の強いお子様の受け入れにも慣れています。例えばですね、日本では発達障害っていうふうに診断をされて、お友達とか先生とのコミュニケーションがちょっとうまくいかずに悩んでらっしゃるお子さんとか、あとは集団での行動が苦手なお子様だったりとか、あとは学校に日本ではちょっとなかなか行けてないお子さんだったりとか、そういうちょっと個性の強いお子様の受け入れにも慣れている学校が多いです。 はい。ですので、そういったお子さんに対してもすごくウェルカムだし、じゃあどういうふうなサポートが必要かなっていうふうに、個別に柔軟に対応してくれる学校が多いかなという印象ですね。で、学校はですね、公立校か私立校か選ぶことができます。私立はですね、ちょっと数は少なくなるんですけれども、その分、公立ですね、例えば IB、ここにも書いてます、国際バカロレアを採用している学校があったりですとか、あとはモンテッソーリ教育が充実していたりとか、独自のカリキュラムをですね、公立なんですけれども、持っている学校が多いですので、お子様に合った学校を探していけるかなというふうに思います。ビザはですね、通常、6歳からとか7歳から学生ビザを取れる国がほとんどなんですけれども、ニュージーランドは5歳から取ることができます。お子様が学生ビザを取っていただいて、それに親御さんが保護者として、サポートしますという目的で保護者ビザを取って一緒に行かれるパターン、もしくは、親御さんが学生ビザを取って、お子様を扶養家族として一緒に連れていくというパターンがあります。で、ただしですね、お子様何人であっても、お子様の学生ビザについていくことができる保護者の方はお一人になりますので、ご夫婦揃ってご家族皆様で一緒に行かれたいという場合は、またちょっと別の方法になりますので、ご相談いただければというふうに思います。はい、それではここからはですね、ニュージーランドの学校についてご紹介をしていきます。まずはキウイイングリッシュアカデミーですね。こちらは30年以上の実績がある英語学校になります。オークランドのニューマーケットの中心にありますので、非常に便利な立地です。で、卒業後の進路を相談できますので、定期校への入学も可能ですので、長期でお子様を留学させたいけど、いきなり行くにはちょっと英語力が心配という方にはおすすめの学校です。担当者のケイトさんに、お話を聞くことができましたので、次の動画でインタビューをご覧ください。
Interesting. There are some differences between Australian and New Zealand education in the sense that in Australia, in a number of places, they have their big exam at the end of year 12, but we always have it at year 13.
I see.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
some things are different. They have, in Australia, they have a lot more universities, some government universities and some private. In New Zealand, our level of university is more even. We don't have up here and down here, yes? We have, they're more in the middle and no private universities in New Zealand.
And I also want to ask you, like, any advice for students who doesn't speak any English, because most of our clients' children, they speak close to zero English. So we want to give them advice so that they feel confident or they're not very scared or worried to send their children to study abroad.
There are a number of things that they can do, but one of the very good things that's come out of the pandemic is online learning. And if online learning is done well, we call it synchronous learning, means the teacher is always online with the students, not just sometimes, always, and teaches properly. The students can gain confidence in being able to speak English, and just as importantly, they gain skills with digital literacy. Because Japanese children, in my experience, they don't have so much exposure to computers for learning in the school environment, yes? But in New Zealand, all students use computers all the time, yes? Like in maths and science, in everything. And even little children, like at the primary school, not for every class, but they have a lot of exposure to computers. So it has a dual purpose of giving them confidence to speak out a little bit in English, and also helps them with this digital literacy. That's one thing. Another thing they can do is watch movies in English with subtitles.
Yes.
That's a good thing to do. So, and if they will read, it's wonderful. Yeah, it helps them expand their vocabulary, you know. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's the big thing. The Japanese young people are often frightened to make mistakes, but it's not we don't worry about that. The more you speak, the easier it
That's
becomes.
true.
Yeah.
We are often too shy to express ourselves.
Yes, they often just sit quietly in the class. Everybody else is talking, and Japanese sit like this. And we always tell them, please don't do that. Yeah, but they feel this is a good student in Japan, but it's not in New Zealand. We feel this student is not participating actively. Yes,
that's right.
so it's a totally different perception
That's
of
right.
what is a good student, you know. So yeah, that's a huge difference. And some students adjust quickly, and for some it takes longer.
That's true. Yeah.
But when they adjust, we can't keep them quiet. We have another problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So with the students who, for example, hikikomori or these kind of students, we have some students already like this, and we encourage them to go step by step. Yes. So first we put them online, and they stay in Japan.
In Japan?
Because they are already in their bedroom with the computer.
Yeah.
Oh, so they may as well use it for something useful. Yeah. So, and because they are in their own bedroom where they feel safe, and everything around them is familiar, and they don't have to look at other students, right? I mean, they have to keep their video on, but they're not in the same room.
Right.
So we have found this a good way, yes? And they do maybe, I don't know, 2 months or more, depends on the student, of online. And we just get them used to come to class every day, yes? And gradually participate more and more in the class, yes? And then, if that all goes well, we suggest they come to New Zealand, but they come to the language school first. And then we see if they settle down, you know, homestay, and by themselves have to come to school, not in their own bedroom. And after that, put them in school.
Okay.
So it's a gradual process.
Yes.
It's too big a shock to put a child out of their environment who doesn't feel good about going to school straight into a high school. But this is not a good idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in New Zealand, is it very common and is like special needs or gifted, talented students? Are they very welcomed?
Yes, but these hikikomori we don't call special needs. We don't have hikikomori in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yes, it's a Japanese thing, I think,
Yes.
mostly. So special needs in New Zealand might mean a child who has some physical or mental disability
Right, yes.
that makes it more difficult for them to learn in the usual way,
Yes.
right? So some schools have special needs, we call them units usually, attached to the school,
Yes.
so that the students go to school like other kids, but they're in a separate classroom. Yeah. So we do have that kind of thing, and I think New Zealand is quite welcoming.
Yes.
With regard to gifted children, because New Zealand has a multi-level system at high school. For example, if a child is super clever at maths, and maybe they're in year 11, and all their other subjects are year 11, maybe they can do maths at year 12. And that's an advantage of multi-level system.
I see,
Yeah, but we don't have special schools for gifted children, but I think they can be well looked after within the system. Yeah, and in the same way, if they're not managing so well at school, they can be in, say, year 12 with their same age group, but study at year 11.
Right.
So socially they feel included,
Yes.
but they're studying at a slightly lower level.
Okay, so most of the schools in New Zealand, they have some kind of special program for, let's say, special needs child.
Not all schools.
Not all schools.
No,
Okay.
they don't. Not all schools.
Okay.
You have to look up. I know this one at Rosehill College.
Rosehill,
Yeah, has a special needs, but you know, for international students, I'm not sure about what other conditions around that, because there's a lot more funding required to look after special needs students. Yes. So that would have to be properly investigated. I can't answer that clearly.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, lastly, can you give us a message to Japanese students who wants to go to New Zealand to study English? Any messages for them to encourage them to go to New Zealand to study?
You know, you are young now in this world. There are so many opportunities, and I think it's really important to expand your horizons while you're young, and take some opportunity to go and see how other people live. It may change your life in the same way that coming to Japan changed my life. Yeah, so I think that is really important, and don't worry, don't let your fears hold you back. You know, you need to just go and try, and nothing lost, nothing gained, right? Yeah. So,
That's a one.
はい、続いてご紹介するのがグレンダウィースクールですね。こちら公立の小学校になります。オークランド市内のですね、公立の小学校としては初めてモンテッソーリ教育を取り入れた学校として有名です。モンテッソーリ教育ですね。子供には本来自分を育てる力っていうのがもともと備わっているっていう教育法の一つなんですけれども、日本でも増えてきていますよね。そのモンテッソーリ教育をオークランド市内の公立の小学校としては初めて取り入れた学校なんです。生徒さんとの関わりの中でどのように意識をされているかということで、今回担当者にお話を聞くことができましたので、ご覧いただければと思います。
Hello, Paul. Thank you for coming to our company today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So I would like to ask a few questions about the school. First one is, with Montessori education,
Yes.
how does the school and teacher engage with students? Do you guys have any Montessori specific curricula?
Yeah, so our school is a school of 600 students, and around about 100 of those are enrolled in a Montessori unit. And the student-teacher ratio in the Montessori unit is higher, and they use Montessori-specific pedagogy, that's approaches to teaching. And it's not easy for me in this short time to explain all the details of a Montessori education, but it's simply explained there is some structure, and within that structure there's freedom for students to make choices about their own learning. For example, they make choices about the timetable that they follow each day, but they have to do set activities that are prescribed by the teachers for those days. It's not completely different to a normal education. Some of the approaches to mathematics and to literacy, reading and writing, are very similar to what we do in the mainstream education for the other 500 students at the school.
Thank you very much. The second question is, do you accept short-term attendance?
Yes.
If the students would like to attend only for a few months?
Yes. Yes, so we have a minimum attendance period of 4 weeks. We prefer students to come for at least one term, which is around about 10 weeks, 3 months. But we find that students who are attending more than 6 months to a year, sometimes 2 years, get the most out of their experience at the school. But yes, we do accept short-term students who are coming for around about 4 to 10 weeks. So that's what we would call a short-term student, yes.
Thank you. Third question is, please tell us what is most special about your school.
Well, there's a lot of special things about our school. We have an IB curriculum. and that's a huge part of the school. We've had that in place since 2006, and we have a number of teachers now who are really experienced at delivering the IB curriculum. It's a great way of developing creativity. It's a great way of helping students to become collaborative. So we really believe in that approach to teaching and learning, and that's a sort of special character of our school. Another thing that's special about our school is the environment. We're situated in a beautiful suburb of Auckland called Glendowie. It overlooks the Tamaki Estuary, which is the water around part of Auckland, and it's really conducive to a really good education because the environment's really good. We have fantastic facilities too. We have a gymnasium, we have a swimming pool, we have a new classroom block. We also have large fields, including like an astroturf field that can be used year-round, and playgrounds. So we like to think that our facilities really support a well-rounded education.
Thank you very much. Lastly, can you give us any messages to families who are considering sending their child to your school?
Yeah, I think that what we do as a school is that we embrace the best of international perspectives on education, but we put it into a New Zealand context. So I think a lot of people know what a wonderful place New Zealand is, and we're very much a New Zealand school, but we incorporate a lot of international perspectives, and so I think any parent wanting to send their child to our school would, from overseas, would find that we are quite amenable and understand other cultures, but at the same time we will give their student and support their student to have a uniquely New Zealand education. And I think that combination of international perspective in a New Zealand context is something that is very valuable, and it's something that parents from around the Asia Pacific and beyond should consider seriously.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you. Okay.
はい、続いてご紹介するのがこちらですね、グレンドウィーカレッジです。こちら公立のセカンダリースクールですね。場所はオークランド市内から車で約20分ぐらい、少し郊外にあるんですけれども、非常に落ち着いていて、いい環境かと思います。で、こちらはですね、ここにも書いてあるんですけれども、勉学のみならず、アートとかスポーツとか、あとはリーダーシップ教育っていうのがですね、非常に力を入れているっていうことでした。具体的にどういうことをしているのかっていうことをお話を伺うことができましたので、次の動画をご覧いただければと思います。
Hello, Leslie. It is very nice to meet you here in Tokyo. Welcome to our company.
Thank you. It's lovely to be back here. Yeah, it's been such a long time.
That's right.
It's fabulous to be back.
That's right. Wonderful. So I have a few questions I would like to ask about your college. First one is, why is it important for the school to offer various art, sports, and leadership programs? Are they all under extracurricular activities, or are they offered as part of standard class?
Okay. At Glendowie College, we're aiming to develop well-rounded students, you know, ready to go out into the world and interact. So a variety of subjects and like leadership programs are important for that reason. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the art, you know, we need artists in our community.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah, not just scientists and mathematicians and that sort of thing. It's important, you know. You have to. Yeah, people need to be brought up by the beauty of art and all that sort of thing. Our art program, which contains art painting, art photography and art design, are all part of the curriculum, right from year 9 through to year 13.
Okay.
And it's a university approved subject. So students can use one or two of those subjects as part of their NCEA.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And then all your sports classes,
Yeah.
are they offered as part of standard class as well, or are they extracurricular activities?
Okay, so there's two parts to that. Year 9 and 10 have an sports or PE as part of their compulsory program, and through that they get to do all kinds of sports. From year 11 to year 13, it's a choice to do PE or outdoor education.
Okay.
Right the way through the school, we have sports available as co-curricular, extracurricular activities. And we believe that every student should have the chance to join a sports team, regardless of whether they're masters or whether they just want to play for social teams.
Yes.
So we have a whole range of different abilities and levels.
Okay.
Yeah. So an amazing amount of different sports. Yeah.
There are so many to choose from.
Yes, there are. I think the thing to remember is that our sports are based on our winter, summer, spring. So summer sports are term 4 and term 1, and winter sports are terms 2 and 3.
Okay. Okay. And how about the leadership programs? What are they?
Yeah, we encourage students to take leadership right from the beginning, but it really comes into play in year 12 and 13. Although we are now sort of trying to bring in year 11. So we have our prefects in year 13, and that includes the head with boys and girls. In year 12 and now in year 11, we are training students for peer support. That's the big brother and sister looking after the little brother and sister. So when the year 9 students come into the school, we have the peer support program, and we have a whole term where once a week there's a team of students go into a class and they do activities, fun activities with that class. And we've been doing that for a long time. So, the students are taking responsibility and learning to look after the younger ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great support program.
Yeah, and we're just bringing in, we've always had the buddy system, which is another sort of leadership sort of role for our international students and any new students coming into the school. We're now pushing that out into the peer support prefect area and having international ambassadors. So that's another leadership role, and they'll do similar things to peer support, but they'll go into the form classes and once a week maybe and work with the international students to make them feel more comfortable at home and answer any questions. Yeah. So within the prefect, the prefect system, we have arts prefects and we have sports prefects. And what they do is they help to run the school assemblies. So the assemblies are actually run by the prefects.
Okay.
Yeah. So that works very well. Yeah.
Great system you have in your college. Okay. And do you accept students who want to study just for short term? If yes, what is the minimum weeks do you accept students from?
Okay, 1 term.
1 term, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And please tell us what is most special about your school.
It's really hard because it's such a great school.
That's right. I'm sure you have so many special things about your school to talk about.
I'll mention a couple. I think the atmosphere within the school, it's a real family atmosphere. And a lot of that comes from the peer support, of course. Respectful relationships is a big part, and we promote that.
Great, great. Thank you. Yes.
We have an outstanding academic program. Our academic achievement by our students is very good. We're one of the top schools in Auckland. And for that to happen, we have to have great teachers.
Definitely, yes.
And great support for all of our students, and in particular for international students. Music!
Music?
Music!
Really? Yes.
Oh,
please tell us more about your music.
Yeah, we have a very good program, and it's part of the curriculum. But also, we have lots of groups, and if an international student is coming and they play an instrument, bring it with them, and they can join a group.
Okay.
If the instrument is too big, like a cello or something like that, we can hire one.
Okay.
Yeah. Recently, we had 2 students come from Spain. One was a saxophone player and one was a trumpet player. Within a week, they were in our groups and they were helping our students in the competitions, the Auckland competitions.
They were teaching.
No, they were part of the group.
They were part of the group.
They were playing in the group.
Okay.
That were taking part in the competitions.
Oh.
Yeah, and one of them did a solo, so it was great. Yeah. So that's the sort of thing.
Okay.
And being part of a music group, if you're a musician, you're mixing with people who have the same sort of interests, and it makes it easier to make friends.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. So finally, please give us messages to families who are considering sending their child to your school.
Right. Well, we have a wonderful pastoral care system, and we look after our international students very well. We're there 24/7. We have an open door policy. There's always somebody there to help the students. As I said, the program is wonderful, and we like to share that with international students. And we also appreciate what international students will give to our students. Global perspective, global citizenship, learning about another culture and expanding the domestic students' knowledge and appreciation.
So will students who doesn't speak very good English, will they also feel very comfortable attending your school, do you think?
Yeah, we have a English requirement.
Yes.
But it takes a while for a student to settle down and be able to understand everything that's going on.
That's right.
Yes, they will feel comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have ESOL program as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
はい、続いてご紹介するのがローズヒルカレッジになります。こちらもセカンダリースクールですね。ESL 制度がかなり手厚いです。基本的に今回ご紹介しているのは ESL の英語のサポートがついている学校さんなんですけれども、中でもローズヒルカレッジに関しては、お子様の英語のレベルに合わせてですね、段階に分けてサポートをしてくれるということが特徴になります。ですので、お子様の英語力が不安かなというご家庭に関してはですね、こちら、ローズヒルカレッジをご検討いただいたらいいかなというふうに思います。はい、それではインタビューをご覧ください。
Okay, so I'll begin. Hello, Anne. It is very nice to meet you here today in Tokyo.
Thank you so much for having me here in Tokyo, and I'm very excited to be back in Tokyo after being 2 years away because of COVID. It's really nice to be back and welcoming Japanese students back to New Zealand.
Great. So I have a few questions I would like to ask about your school. First one is, how often do you have students only attending one term to experience the New Zealand education and also to kind of learn in an English environment?
We accept students in term 1, which is from the beginning of February till the end of April, and then in term 2, which is at the end of April to the end of June, and then again in the term 3, which is our winter term, which is from July until the end of September. So 3 terms a year.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Second question is, most of our clients' children, they don't speak very well English. How many different levels of ESL classes do you have? Could you briefly explain about the
Yeah.
different levels?
So we currently have 4 levels of English language, from very beginners, which we call immersion English, right through to English as a second language. So if you come to us and your English is low, you can do up to 2 classes of English in your timetable until your English gets up to speed. Yeah. So we have lots of experience at our school at helping students with low-level English.
Okay.
Yeah. And we find after 1 term, your English improves very much. Yeah.
Wonderful. And please tell us what is most special about your school.
Thing that we like about our school is that it's a government high school for boys and girls. It's in Auckland, but it's close to where Auckland City meets the country. So you get the best of being in the city, but you're also very close to the country. So you can have, your homestay can be actually in the country. We have an equestrian program, so you can have a homestay in a riding school. We're on the main train line to the city, so we're only about 45 minutes by train to the city centre, 20 minutes to the international airport. Our school has had welcomed international students for over 30 years. So for us, we are really highly experienced. Our Japanese students love our art program, our music program, and our sports program. We're very good at all our academic subjects as well. Yeah, we had Japanese students start in term 3, and when I did their survey, they said the school was welcoming, friendly, and very helpful. That's
Wonderful.
how they, yeah. So that's how they described the teachers and the students.
Yes,
so that was
yes.
good. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Yes. Finally, please give us messages to families who are considering sending their child to your school.
Yeah. Please be assured that we will look after your child really well. We are very experienced and we take great care and support of your child. I'm the full-time director and I have an international coordinator, and we have really good homestays and we really look after your child very well, and we take really good measures to ensure your child will get the education that they want and that they get a really fun experience and that they enjoy the lifestyle in New Zealand.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much, and we welcome you to come to New Zealand.
Yes. See you
Thank
in
you.
New Zealand. Thank you.
No problem.
はい、続いてご紹介するのがオンズローカレッジですね。こちらもセカンダリースクールになります。この学校はですね、制服のない学校です。で、比較的自由な校風のようですので、ちょっと日本の学校で窮屈に感じていらっしゃるお子様がいらっしゃいましたらですね、ご検討いただいたらいいかなというふうに思います。留学生のケアにもですね、柔軟に対応してくれる学校ですので、ご不安なことがありましたらですね、ご相談いただければと思います。では、動画をご覧ください。
Hello, Warren.
Hello, how are you?
Great. Thank you. Very nice to meet you in person.
Lovely to be here in Tokyo.
Great. Thank you. So I have a few questions I would like to ask about your school. The first one is there a reason why your school doesn't have any uniform? Does your school encourage individuality?
Yes, we are known as a non-traditional school, and we did have a uniform when the school first started in 1956. But in 1973, the students decided that they didn't want to wear the uniform anymore, and so they organised a way of making it disappear.
Wow.
And so ever
Great.
since 1973, we've had no uniform, and most of our students have never had a uniform because most primary schools don't have a uniform in New Zealand, and our largest intermediate school, which is just across the road from us, doesn't have a uniform either. Of course we have a sports uniform, but apart from that, students are welcome to wear whatever they like at school, and that does encourage individuality. We, as I said, we're a non-traditional school, and we want students to be who they really are, and that is fine with us. Our school vision talks about students coming as who they are, growing academically, socially, physically while they're with us, so that they can thrive in the paths that they choose and their parents choose afterwards. So for us it's very important that we get to know who a student really is, no matter what that is, and we love that.
I see. That sounds wonderful. Second question is, your college has an international student department, which shows that you are very open to welcoming international students. Do you have a special ESL program?
Yes, we do. So all of our ESOL students will have 8 hours English per week. And one of the first things that we do when they arrive is to test their level of English to assess what the best class is for them. And from there, they're matched with an experienced EL teacher who will see them and do a very good job with them. We do like the students to have some level of English when they arrive because otherwise it makes it very difficult for them to make friends if they can't speak to anybody.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
But we have, if I might add, we have had students, a student just leaving us this year who's finishing high school has been with us for 5 years. When she came to school, she had very little English, but next year she's going on to university in Wellington.
Wow.
And so that's the kind of service that we can provide.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great story. Third question is, does your school accept students who want to study only short term, just for a few weeks or just one term?
Yes.
Is that accepted?
The minimum is 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's as long as students want to study. This year we've had Japanese students 4, 1 for 4 weeks, 1 for 6 weeks, and 2 for 10 weeks. And next year we've got a whole lot of Japanese students coming for 1 term.
Oh, really? Okay. Good. And please tell us what is most special about your school.
I think that our school is known for its excellent relationships between teachers and students and its excellent relationships between students and students. We like all of our international students to make Kiwi friends, and most of them do that very well. Yes. In addition to that, we've got a very long history of working with Japan. Onslow has a sister school, Yamamura Gakuen, in Kawagoe City. And we have been visiting each other since the mid-1980s.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, long relationship.
It's wonderful. And I was out there yesterday. And for the first time next year, they're bringing 9 of their students to Onslow College for term 1 next year. We've also had a long-standing relationship with Kune in Osaka since the early 2000s. So we like to think that we know Japanese students, we have Japanese speakers at our school, and they're very welcome here.
Okay. Great to know that a lot of Japanese people would be more interested in your school.
Yes.
I believe. Yes.
We would love to see them.
Thank you. And lastly, please give us any messages to families who are considering sending their child to your school.
We would encourage people to think about the kind of school that they want and then to have a look at our website and the websites of other schools too. Because what's most important is families find a school that suits them. And so we would encourage them to find out, to look at our website, read our information, to contact us if they have any questions, and to take it from there.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Warren.
That is a pleasure. Thank you.
はい、皆様いかがでしたでしょうか。もしご質問、お問い合わせございましたらですね、メールですとかお電話ですとか先ほどご紹介しました LINE で、ご連絡いただければというふうに思います。最後までご視聴いただきましてどうもありがとうございました。それでは失礼いたします。See you!